with me from the Gold Coast as well. Hi,
Hey.
Annie. How
Hey.
are you?
Hi, Nick.
How you going?
Thanks, honey.
We've got a bit of a lag.
Beautiful day we've got. We do.
Yeah, so we won't be able to speak at speed like we usually do. So anyway, it's good to be back. We had a few days off because I was desperately sick last week, and I think Annie was the only person I managed to grunt at once or twice. I was so sick. So it was pretty bad, wasn't it, Annie? At one stage I thought that I'd gone down with that dreaded C word.
Yes, but luckily it wasn't the C word. It was just, bad cold. So anyway, it's good to have you back on deck, Nick.
I know. Now that I'm back, I'm just so happy to be back. And, I've got lots and lots of emails to go through and lots of messages. So if you thought that I'd disappeared off the face of the earth, I did for a little while, but I'm back now. So anyway, Annie and I wanted to drop in. We're going to be back at you every day this week. So I know we've got lots of messages with topics and things that people want us to talk about, Annie. So some of the topics that people have been wanting to talk about is, how do we plan for a future when we don't know what the date is? People are wanting to plan. People are asking about marketing. People are asking about staffing. People are asking about treatments, all sorts of different topics. So if you've got topics that you want us to talk about and discuss, or even if you want to come on live with us to discuss what you're doing, then drop us a message. Annie, what sort of topics have people been asking you?
Well, you know what? Interestingly enough, and this might take everyone by surprise, is the equipment. And because we've got this, $150,000 tax break right now, it is the perfect time for equipment. So first of all, you're going to get great deals on equipment right now. And secondly, you're going to get your tax break. So it's the perfect time. So I think that was really interesting to me because, as you know, I'm the national trainer also for Double M Medical Aesthetics. So, we're still getting inquiries through and our finance is still readily available. So I think the smart operators out there and the inquiries, the messages that I've been getting, people are asking me, okay, what's available? Because we are opening. We will open again. So we want to make sure that we've got everything in place and we can do it, maybe a little bit differently this time around. So I think the thing is, there are some girls out there that still have their head in the sand, Nick. And then there are those, and I spoke to a number of salon owners last week that have gone, you know what, even if it is 3 months, I'm opening. It makes no difference. I'm opening. Yeah. I'm treating this as I am working right now. Yes, I've got time for a bit of self-care and a bit of R&R, but during this time, I've actually got time not only to work on me, but I've got time to work on my business, not in it.
That's right. I'll just interrupt you there, Annie, because we've got Denise. We're supposed to be speaking with Denise Fuller, the founder of NASN PRO USA. So she's just messaged me and said she's trying to connect. So there's some technical difficulty that she's having at the moment. So Denise, we're watching for you. Keep trying to connect because I can see you trying to connect. We just need to get your video and your sound happening. So Denise is going to be with us as soon as she can connect. Not sure what's going on there, but if we don't manage to get her live now, then we will bring her back maybe tonight.
We'll try later in the day.
Yeah, we'll try later. But so don't go anywhere because Denise is an amazing woman. She founded NASN PRO in the USA, and I first met her in 2012. Was it 2012? Maybe, yeah, a little bit earlier. And I was working with Ritz-Carlton in Central Park in America, which was an amazing experience. And I was training their staff there. And I was also working with Ritz-Carlton in Lake Las Vegas at the time, which was a hoot. But I can't remember actually where I met Denise. So it'll be interesting to talk to her again after all these years because we've connected via social media, but I can't quite remember exactly at which event or which location we met up at. But she's an amazing woman. She's got like tens of thousands of members with NASN Pro. So she's the go-to woman when it comes to estheticians in the United States. So we're very lucky to have her.
I'm very keen to hear what her take on the industry is in the States right now. Because remember last week we spoke to was it Jennifer? We spoke
Jennifer,
last week, and everybody's still in lockdown basically over there for another 30 days with the reviews. So look, I think as far as here, well, we've got to expect that that's certainly going to be. We're going to be following that, I would assume, at least another 30 days.
I don't think that we should be, making any assumptions because we just don't know. And I think that something that you and I talk about often is people forecasting things that may not ever happen. So I think we've got to be really careful what
I agree.
I think we just need to plan that, this is our normal for now. Like you always say, this is our new normal. We need to plan for opening, and we need to be ready for when we open, because you know what? It might be next week. It might be next month. It might be in 2 months. But whatever we're doing now, we need to plan for opening.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Nick. I'm watching the forums out there. What's going on, and I see the salon owners, and because you and I are both getting a lot of questions, and we're giving some suggestions, if you like. But there's a lot of salons out there still not listening, still not taking those suggestions on board, which is very, very frustrating. It's like they're hedging their bets. They're sitting on the fence right now. Well, in my opinion, you can't afford to sit on the fence. You still have a business. It doesn't matter that your doors are closed right now. You're still in business.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You still have a business. It's not really, I think a lot of people are treating this as a holiday. And whilst it's nice to work from home and it's nice to, be able to jump in the pool at lunchtime, or do you know what I mean? I think we still need to be focused. And certainly you and I, we get up every day and treat it like it's another business day. So, we're putting on our makeup, we're getting dressed for work, we're having our usual morning phone call to discuss our strategies. And, we're treating this as business as usual. We are planning every single day. And I think that salons need to do that too. You need to treat this as though, even though we do have added responsibilities of homeschooling and the kids running around and things like that, I think we still need to plan for when we open. So it would be great if we could kickstart people into thinking, you know what? I've got this business. Yes, it's shut down. Yes, I'm suffering, because we're all suffering at the moment, but this is not going to break me. This is going to make me stronger, and it's going to make my business stronger too. I think that's really important. And looking at ways and opportunities to strengthen your business. Is your menu a bit tired? Do you need to introduce new equipment and treatments? Things like that.
And that's a really good point, Nick. And something that keeps coming into my head all the time from watching what's going on in the forums is that there's a lot of people out there that just are all they're concerned about is what the government is going to give them right now, the $750 that they can get. Well, let me ask you, as a business owner, are you happy with $750 a week? Clearly you're not, because I'm not. I make a lot more money than that. So if that's you and you're in business, you don't be in business to make $750 a week. So I think that that's a bonus. That's the cream. That's the little bit of buffer that you can put petrol in your car. You can pay a few bills, get yourself barely scraping by right now. So you need to be thinking way beyond that. You need to be thinking bigger than just what the government can throw at you, because mark my words, you and I've had this discussion. Where is this money coming from that the government is throwing at us right now? They're borrowing this money. So eventually we will have to pay it back. Now, it will be indirectly, but it will be in higher taxes, because how else is the country going to pay the money back to the lenders?
And I think the point is really, don't you, Annie, that they need to stop focusing on what they can get out of the government.
That was exactly my point, Nick. They must stop that.
Yeah, they need to stop focusing on that, because that's not your livelihood. Your livelihood is your business. And even today it still is. And, we're still getting lots of inquiries about lip plump. And because the proactive salons are looking for new opportunities. So have a look and see what new opportunities are out there. Over the weekend, I had about 5 or 6 inquiries of salons wanting to stock lip plump. So, you need to look outside the box. And what about when you reopen? Are you going to reopen the same way? Are you going to be the same old salon that you were before you opened, before we got shut down? This is a perfect time to, go into a cocoon and come back as a butterfly. Don't you think?
That's a really great analogy, but don't, as I said, just stick your head up your backside now that you're off. You need to be working and come out the other side, as you say, as a butterfly or a Cinderella, with a glass slippers. You need to be out now thinking about what your plan of attack is. I don't want you to stress yourself either about it, but at the end of the day, this is your perfect opportunity to rebuild, to re-strategize, to reinvigorate, to rewind, to rewire, and move forward in a better way than you ever dreamed possible. Because as you know, when we're in the business of doing business every day, we don't see what's around us, and we tend to react to situations instead of planning for situations. If it happens, you have a bad day, then there's a reaction, and then you're trying to fix things and band-aid all the time. Well, let's not be in a band-aid situation anymore. Let's get your business into a situation where it's strong, you've got money in the bank, so when these things happen, it's not life-threatening for you.
That's exactly right. And look, I've got this little head sitting behind me, and I just want to bring that up because this is all about innovation and adapting. And that's what we're talking about at the moment, isn't it, Annie? But I don't know if you can really see what it is. So I might just bring it down here. But this is a Diamante encrusted face mask. So someone sent that to me. And look, they clearly know me very well, because look at that. That is just schmick. And if you're looking for face masks, and the government's actually saying at the moment that you're not to buy the N95s, they're purely for medical purposes, but these are amazing, and they come in a variety of colors and they can be customized. So if you want to go back with all guns blazing in your salon, then hit me up about those, because I'll send you the contact details. Oh, there's Denise. We've got Denise.
Oh, fantastic. There is she. You got it there, Nick? So while Nick's trying to find Denise, bring her on.
Okay, I've found Denise. Now I'm just going to bring her in live, because we are live at the moment, Denise. So I'm just going to bring you in. I'm excited that you could come on. So let me bring you in. Here we go. Here comes Denise. There she is.
Hi. How are you guys?
Hi, Denise. It's so good to have you here finally after all of that.
I am so sorry. The joys of trying to work with lives and everything, but we were able to figure it out. We had to switch computers, but good day. How are you guys doing in Australia?
Well, good day from Australia. We're excited to have you because, I was just actually talking about you, Denise, and saying that you and I met in about 2012, and I don't even remember where we met, but it was when I was working in the States with Ritz-Carlton Central Park.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not sure if you were in New York or if I met you in Las Vegas, but anyway, I was telling our viewers that we met in the States and we've been connected ever since. And now we're coming over to Boston to speak at your conference, which we're super excited about.
We are too. We can't wait. Of course, everyone's kind of holding their breath to make certain that everyone will be healthy and that we are able to have a conference more than 10 people, because it's definitely a very interesting time to be in the salon and spa industry and to just be any entrepreneur right now. So
times, because we were actually just talking about how innovation is key at the moment, and staying positive, and also remembering that we're not just having a forced holiday. We are still working on a daily basis on our businesses. And as you know, Denise, Annie and I are very focused on strengthening business in good times and in bad. But I just want to take it a little step back, and I want you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and about NASN Pro, because a lot of people here in Australia, we're so far away from you guys, have never heard of you. So I'd really like you to talk about who you are and what you're about.
Well, thank you so much. And again, ladies, thank you so much for having me on the broadcast. My name is Denise Fuller. I'm a licensed esthetician since 1994. But I think what's neat is that I'm also a beauty therapist. I was trained at Verona's Beauty Academy in Surfer's Paradise on the Gold Coast.
Oh.
And yeah. So I don't know if you know who Diane is. That was about 20 years ago when I became a beauty therapist. I also worked at the Dome Retreat with Miriam and Megan. That was at the Marriott overlooking the beautiful. So I've done a lot of things in my career. And that's one thing I can encourage every beauty therapist and esthetician out there. Don't be discouraged right now. Take it as a time to pivot or reinvent yourself. I love being an esthetician, which has led me to develop an organization. And actually, it was another esthetician and myself that started the National Aesthetic Spa Network 16 years ago. We've now grown to over 30,000 members worldwide. So we actually do have some members from Australia. And what's neat about our organization is that it's complementary. One of the main core goals that we started this is we wanted it to be free. We know how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur. So many of us in our industry are single moms, and I would rather have people to have access to member discounts, to education, to just things that are available at their fingertips and mentorship, so that they can have enough funds to go purchase what they need to, that equipment, that product, that marketing class that they need. So that was where kind of the heart is where we started it. We started it with 12 estheticians in Daytona Beach, Florida. And again, now it's grown to over 30,000 worldwide. So it's easy to join. Go to nasnpro.com. Now we have developed educational events across the United States. Hopefully, we'd love to come down to Australia and have a conference. That is on the bucket list. But we're excited to be able to have Anni and Nikki be able to join us this summer in Boston. So can you tell us a little bit of a sneak peek about what you're going to be educating us Americans and how we can grow our business and what we need to do, since you guys are definitely experts in this field?
Well, we are known as the original salon experts, Denise. So we've been around for many, many years, Annie and I, and you know, our chosen career coming into the spa and salon industry was not when we were young, you know, and you know, we're not going to say how old we are, but we've been in this industry for quite some time now. But what we do is we help to strengthen businesses. We help to guide them, support them, and we have a very holistic approach to what we do with spas and salons. So we work with them from the ground up. We can help them with their marketing and their branding, their business strategy, their marketing strategy, training their staff, sales and retail, which is, you know, one of my passions. But it's for us, it's all about creating a bulletproof business, you know, and a future-proof business, which is what we call it. Annie is the master of flipping salons. You know, she creates businesses and then flips them. Nothing is ever long-term when Annie goes in to create these businesses, because that's how she makes money, is by creating them and flipping them. So when we come to the States, and we're super excited about coming to Boston, what we're going to be talking about is how to future-proof your salon. And the strategies that we're using are not just about, now and in times of crisis, but they're super relevant now, aren't they, Annie?
More than ever. And the strategies that we use and that we teach and share with other business owners are strategies that have been around forever. Like, this is not new. I think the thing that we're dealing with right now more than ever is the uncertainty of the times. And so I think, that's really important for us to address right now as well. So yes, we have the strategies, but unless you have the right focus, or you rewire what's going on up here right now to get out of your own way, it doesn't matter what the strategies that you're given, they're more difficult to implement. So we also, we want to be working on people's minds, where they're at right now, so that they can move forward and help themselves. Otherwise, the strategies become quite lost.
And I would agree. I mean, I've had so many private messages and phone calls. I mean, I'm certain that, in Australia, you have tons of Facebook groups. Well, not everyone always wants to share what they're actually feeling. I've had salon owners and estheticians contacting me because, now everyone's at home, including dad, and maybe the dynamics personally are getting into a tumultuous situation. I've had some estheticians private message me that they feel such despair and fear, and actually have had suicidal feelings. And, these are some of the things that it's not glamorous to talk about. It's actually quite heartbreaking, and this is going to end. I mean, it's difficult right now to see when or how, and especially when the bills are coming up, but we have to have hope. And I've even had some people message me and say, I think I'm going to get out of my industry. Well, we need to remember that we are a touch industry, and it is scientifically proven what touch does. So whether you're a hairdresser or a nail technician or an esthetician, massage therapist, when you have that touch point with your clients, and we'll get there someday. I mean, we're going to see our clients and we'll be really excited to embrace them. But the healing and the energy that we're going to be able to help with so many people. So don't be disparaged that, we went into the wrong field. We just need to pivot and maybe take a moment to pause, but don't pause too long. And I think that's where maybe
that's really good advice. It's very good advice, Denise. That's right. It's okay to feel, and you should feel, and whatever those emotions are, but don't hang on to them too long. Be able to navigate your way around or through them, and not just have them in your face constantly, because it does serve no purpose. Absolutely no purpose. And it wouldn't matter whether you're in the aesthetics industry or you are, I guess my point is how many industries, and that is most people on the planet have been affected by this. So that would not be a wise move to get out of the industry, something that you know and love and do well and are passionate about, just because we've hit a wall here right now. That would be a bad decision, in my opinion, right now. Down the track, you get back in there and then you decide you don't like the industry. That's different.
That is different.
That's exactly right. So right now, people are making bad decisions based on emotion.
Yeah,
and
that's
right. They need to be putting their business hat back on and working through the emotion.
Yeah,
that's how we will get through here.
That's exactly right. It's really important to be strategic and methodical during times like this. I mean, I'm very strategic and methodical on a daily basis anyway. Annie hates my list, but I always work with lists. And I always say to her, I've got to work with a list. Let's sit down and make a list. But I think, maybe if you're feeling a bit despondent or a bit unsure, then start writing lists and start making plans, because this will end. It's going to end. We just don't have an end date at the moment. But you know what? I'm, one of the most positive people that I know. I always find the silver lining no matter what. And can you imagine how incredibly busy we're all going to be when this does end? So we really need to be planning now for when we're opening. And Annie and I were having a discussion, Denise, while we were waiting for you, and we were just saying that this is going to end. We don't have an end date, but right now we need to be planning like we're going to be opening next week, because what happens if we are open next week and we're not ready? Are we going to just go back in the same business model as we were before we were closed down? Well, I don't think that that's a great idea. We need to evolve. And as I said to Annie, I feel like now we're in a little cocoon and we're going to all come back as beautiful butterflies.
I would agree. And, and I love that you're recommending a list. I've told one spa owner, you can get so overwhelmed, or you can look at this as an elephant. And how do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite. And you don't gobble up all the way. You take a bite, you breathe, and then you chew, and then you take another bite. Well, if we look at our business, we can do the same thing. We look at our business and say, okay, this is the time that maybe we need to really do a deep clean. Maybe we need to repaint. Have we looked at our ceilings? What do they look like when our clients are on a treatment table? Really take our spas and salons bite by bite. Look at your products. What is working? What is selling? What's not? Are you looking at your numbers? You have the downtime, but that doesn't mean that you need to be down and out. Are you having your staff make calls? Have you, as an owner, created a not a call list, but a call script? And, because I was talking to one owner and she told me, she's like, oh, I don't want to bother people. Well, let me tell you, they are getting phone calls, emails, text messages from anywhere from your chemist to your high-end retailer, and you are already their trusted advisor. You can reach out to them and say, I am so glad, Mrs. Smith, that you picked up today. This is Denise from, XYZ Spa Salon. I just wanted to touch base, make certain that you and your family are okay. You can become a community hub. Start putting resources in your local community so that when your clients are on Facebook, because all of us are on social media right now, that suddenly they're excited to see you're posting. Maybe it's the local food bank, because there's a lot of food insecurity right now. Become that community hub. Contact, maybe you can partner with a charitable organization, but maybe your local church, if it's faith-based. There's so much we can be doing now. And then remind them, hey, do you have a shampoo? Do you have that cleanser? Are you having stress breakouts right now? Because you're eating so much, I know a lot of people are ordering pizza and there's different things. So again, don't become a sales point, but become a resource. You're already a trusted advisor. Just take it a little bit step further, because you truly do care about your clients.
Yeah, that's great advice, Denise. And something that you mentioned then, I just want to take a little step backwards. You mentioned about reviewing your business, and now is the time to really look at your spa or your salon. And we recently wrote an article for you that was all about that, if you recall, in your last edition, and it was all about reviewing your business. So, we might post a link to that afterwards when we're finished. But also, I just wanted to mention that when we're talking about making lists and planning your business and reviewing your business, we've actually got a really great ebook, and I've just posted the link to it there, called 7 Ways to Future-Proof Your Salon. And within that ebook, there's actually a list in there about how to go through your business point by point and review it, which is something that we wrote about for you in your last publication, Denise, before we went into this crisis. So we didn't even know we were heading that direction, did we, at that point?
Well, and I think that's a really good reminder, is that there's always going to be a crisis. If you think about and you look back to 2008 when the economy went down. So instead of being in the mode of, oh my goodness, be proactive. Realize that unfortunately this is going to happen. I mean, it's the same thing. What if your staff walks out? What if you as an owner get sick? In 2012, my husband suddenly died. And as personally and professionally, I had to make changes in how I was going to, have my children picked up. And every day the girls seemed to be asking me questions like, well, Mom, how are we going to do this? How is this? And there'd be times I'm like, I don't know the answer, but the answer is going to come. And I often think about that going, my goodness, I had 2 small girls. I was an editor-in-chief of a very large magazine here in the United States, but I had to keep going. I took 2 days to bury my husband because there were deadlines. Now I look back and go, I could have handed that over to my assistant very easily. I needed to take a little bit longer of a pause to take care of myself and my family. So we need to be able to realize that things are going to happen, personally and professionally, that we may have to go, okay, now what? So, like I said, take the pause, take the moment to feel your energy, but then get back into it. And if you don't know the answers, there are several resources, but tell yourself the answers are coming. The answers, our government, the scientists, we have the whole world looking for the answers to how to get rid of or eradicate what is happening now. So tap into your community, tap into your mentors, ask other questions, and just keep going and just keep telling yourself the answers are going to come. And if you're in a good place, once we get through this, start to look and go, okay, what did we learn from this? Was it really so wise? Maybe not to have our, Barbicide Plus get down to 1 bottle, or where we didn't have hand sanitizer. Or we didn't have masks, so that if we have our curb pickup for clients, that we are able to offer that. And, because again, a lot of salon owners I'm talking to, they want to do that, but they go, I don't have the product. I was low before. Well, maybe we need to again shift this. But do we have an e-commerce site on our website? These are some things we should be implementing, because we're seeing some salons and spas get very creative, and they are doing okay. They're staying afloat, but how are they? So let's not get caught again. And you guys in Australia just had fires. So before we had the COVID-19, you guys were dealing with fires, and that shut a lot of businesses down.
Yeah. So we went from fires straight into flood, Denise, as well. So, and now COVID-19. So it's been a pretty horrific year. A lot of people are ready for 2021, that's for sure. But, what you're saying is so true. And those that are going to survive are those that are innovative and planning and forward thinking. And that's, we need to keep reiterating to everyone, it's not just about now, it's always in business. You must always be planning, you must always be innovative, because those salons and spas that are still producing revenue are the ones who are the innovators and who have planned for the future. So, which is how Annie and I live our lives and work with all of our clients, basically. So, but you mentioned masks, Denise. Before you came on, I was showing Annie this mask behind me, and that someone sent that to me, and it's a crystal encrusted mask. So this has been developed by someone in the spa industry here. I'm going to be posting more information, but how cool is that?
And we have a lot of salons and spas and estheticians. They're pulling out their sewing machines and getting, again, very innovative and with what they're doing as far as even developing some new things that they can come out with the mask, with one. And I love, they were one of the first spas at Spa Gregory's out in California. They took their Barbicide and put it into smaller bottles and then started selling it to their clients, because everyone suddenly was out of hand sanitizer, alcohol. And I know some people might go, well, wait a minute, that's a professional cleaning. So, and I do agree with this, but you know what? This is an unprecedented time, and we're all in this boat. So we all need to help. And I'd rather have somebody have some, professional cleaning supplies that they can take to their house or when they go to the grocery store. And then when my spa salon opens, then suddenly they're going to remember, hey, I had something there for them.
That's
so
right.
Again, some things that, we can become a community leader because we are empaths. We believe in positive energy, and we can be hope when there's sometimes when people feel so hopeless.
Exactly right. And I think, even just the fact that we're still planning to be there in July for your conference in Boston, but I think you've got one before that, don't you, Denise?
No, I do not. Last year we did 23 events, and our last event was in Dallas, Texas. It was a wonderful event, great conference. And my team and I, they're like, okay, so where are we going next? What are we doing? And I just looked at him, I said, I really feel like we need to do 5. So we had our first one in January in Florida. It was phenomenal. Then February, we were in Phoenix, Arizona. And then our next one wasn't until July. Well, March, I started to talk to my team and I said, well, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe we should, start planning one in April or May. And then everything started to come out about this COVID-19. And my team's like, how did you know? And I said, I don't know. I just had a feeling. It was a crystal ball. I don't do tarot cards. It just was that very small voice. And I really just felt that it was for my team, for us to kind of recoup from such a busy season that we had, that we needed to just kind of take a breath ourselves. And now we're so inundated, like I said, with so many emails and calls and private messages. With 30,000 members, there's a lot of questions that are happening. And again, not everyone wants to, post what they're feeling in their heart and some of their disparaging thoughts on these platforms. But so we're trying to give good information. The last couple of weeks, we've posted about a rent relief letter. Can you, what you should be contacting if you have rent coming up? Will your landlord work with you? We've also posted things about, here in the United States, about SBA loans. And then also letters on if you need to have a furlough or a letting go of your staff. What does that look like? So we're trying to get some resources out that are a little bit more business, because we have so many platforms that currently are talking about how to sell, how to market. And sometimes I think we need to step back and just really put on that business hat and go, okay, what are some things we need to be doing for our staff? And if you're a spa salon owner, your team is looking to you to be the captain of the ship, and you don't want to be so hopeless and have a message that, well, we're on the Titanic, we're all going to sink.
It's funny you should even raise that, because we had a very long discussion about this just last week, I think it was, Nick, saying exactly the same thing. You need to stand up and be the best leader possible right now. You can't be on a sinking ship. You can't be going, the oh, poor me, and having this negative attitude, because you won't have staff to come back to.
Right.
They will be out looking for other work because you're in fear and panic. They will be thinking that they need to move on. So, interesting that you raised that. But we are in very, very interesting times right now. And I'm not going to say difficult. I'm just going to say interesting. And, and you raised another point also, Denise, and that is that the answers are coming. It's not that there are no answers. They're coming as we know more, as we're gathering more intel. And it's the same in business. The more you know, the more that you can do. So I just think everyone should be taking this opportunity right now to reinvent themselves as people, reinvent their businesses, and come back firing. You can just imagine the nail salons and spas, they're going to be inundated. When we get to open our doors again, there are going to be women out there with hairy eyebrows and hairy underarms.
It's going to be a time like no other, really. The time that we're heading for is, I think, a really exciting time, because excuse me, we are going to be busier than we've ever been before. And for that single reason alone, we need to be prepared. So someone's just asking me, Jennifer, yes, we can talk more about the list. Absolutely. But we need to be prepared because we're going to be overwhelmed with business. We absolutely are. And so to be prepared for that, we need to be keeping our staff on side. So that means we need to have a positive mental attitude. We need to keep our staff buoyant and connected to our businesses, because you know what? They will be finding work elsewhere if they're not confident with you. So that's really important, that we do remain at the helm of our ship and we do remain positive, because you know what? We're on a collision course for making more money than we've ever made before. And for me, that's super exciting. And you know what I'm also excited about, and you can tell I'm easily excited, Denise, I'm so excited that you're still promoting the fact that we're going ahead in July in Boston, because for me and for all of your thousands of members, that's such a beautiful ray of hope, because we don't have a light at the end of the tunnel insofar as a date that we can reopen, but you're giving your members a light at the end of the tunnel and going, hey, you know what? In July, we're going to see you in Boston and we're going to be back better than ever. And, you know, anyone in the States that's watching now, I encourage you to come, no matter what state you're in, fly to Boston and come and see us, because we're going to make it worth your while. And I'm super excited to be back in the States. I haven't been there working for a few years now, but I'm, you know, I'm very passionate about working over there. So I'm super excited to be there. And we're going to be delivering an action-packed, I think, 40 minutes, isn't it, Denise, we've got?
Sure. We'll work it out. It's either between 30 and 45 minutes, but we'll get it. You know,
that's going to be a tough gig for us, Denise, because we can talk for days.
Like I said, I'm just like, you know what, we'll work it out. I mean, because I love your enthusiasm and your expertise. And I think those that are going to be attending are going to have so many questions afterwards that it'll just be a beautiful thing. And, you know, and just so to put people's mind at ease, you know, we've contacted the hotel and said, you know, what are some of your things that you're doing to sanitize and disinfect? And our team has communicated and said, okay, how can we do things a little bit differently? What do we need to do? Does that mean we put hand sanitizer on each table? Do we need to have a little bit more social distancing? So, I mean, we're also looking at it from a event presenters and organizers, because we want you to be safe and we want you to feel confident to attend, knowing that it's going to be healthy and we're going to be okay, and no one is going to leave being ill or 2 weeks later coming up with something. So, I mean, between the hotel and my staff, we're really working on some different ideas to make certain that when we're there, it is going to be dynamic, it's going to be joyful, and we're going to have just information that's going to impact not only your business, your facility, your treatment room, but also yourself personally.
Absolutely. We're so excited about it. You know, as I said, it's been a few years since I've been presenting over there, and I can't wait to get back there. And you know, we're releasing our ebook over there, or we've actually done a bit of a pre-release of it because everyone wanted to get access to the information. So you know, I think that it's great that you're giving everyone that ray of hope that yes, we are planning to still be in Boston in July. And I think it's going to be a great event, because it'll be the first event back after we've been through this crisis. And you know, people are going to be looking for support. They're going to be looking for ways to manage how they're being overwhelmed with customers, because I guarantee that once the doors open, we are going to be flooded with clients. You know, like my nails are falling off and I just can't wait to get back into my salon. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But, you know, there's thousands and millions of women out there who are going to be barging our doors down. So now is the time that you guys need to be planning. And I think that's what the three of us, that's the message that we're trying to get across now is, yes, this was a massive shock to all of us to have to close our doors. And the beautiful thing is that I think it's it has brought the world together in this industry, because this is not just a crisis that's in Australia. It's not just in the States or the UK, but every single esthetician in the world is suffering from this now. Every salon, every spa. This is a crisis we're all going through together. And I think just that alone should give us strength.
Absolutely.
I mean, it also should give us purpose.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. And
we need to have a purpose right now. And that is to make sure that we've got a strong business to go back to, but also a relevant business, Nikki and Denise, because, you know, there are still plenty of salons out there that might be just a little old school. You know, they haven't kept up with technology, or they haven't kept up with the, you know, the new equipments and products that are coming available. So this would be the perfect time for them to reinvent themselves. And because we know consumers are really, really savvy, don't we?
Absolutely. And this would be, you know, how awesome would it be for a savvy salon or spa owner to be on the news right now talking about disinfection and sanitation and the importance of a safe spa or salon, and that you are the safe spa salon. This is what you should be looking for when the doors start to open. So again, this is an opportunity for you to even create a platform for yourself, whether you do it on your social media or reaching out to radio and TV and your local newspaper.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we want to talk about marketing just really briefly, Nick, because, you know, I'm going to use an analogy. In times good and bad, we see the same players on the television, for example. So, you know, we'll just use it in our backyard. So you've got McDonald's, you've got Domain, you've got Harvey Norman, you've got Bunnings, Home Depot in the States. You've got all of these companies that understand that you can't just market when times are good. Because if you fall off the face of the earth when times are bad, you're not there for your customers. They will forget you. I'm telling you right now, they will forget you. So marketing is more important now than it is ever has been. You know, strategically use your money wisely, but there's a lot of marketing concepts that cost you nothing to use, and Facebook is the perfect platform if you're smart and savvy and, you know, and can do it yourself. If not, you need someone to help you with that. But don't just stick your head in the sand right now and stop marketing, because you will not have clients to come back to. Because I can tell you, every other salon owner is out there marketing on Facebook right now, and your customers are seeing somebody else's marketing right now, whether you think they are or not. So you need to be in their face.
Absolutely. I mean, and Facebook and Instagram, I mean, and your message needs to be consistent. You know, I'm really proud of what NASN Pro does. We have a phenomenal team, and we try to be consistent with what we're doing on Instagram is the same message on Facebook. Someone's not going to go, wait a minute, why does it look, you know, one's pink and one is completely black or whatever. It's the same message, because that's who and what we do. And so, you know, and again, Instagram is free. You can get your message out, and there's a way to connect with those in your community, those in your neighborhood, because someone is going to come out as a leader. And you are absolutely right, Annie, when it says you have to be continuing your message through good times and bad times, whether you feel like it or whether you don't. You have to put on sometimes those big girl panties and just keep on going. So even if it's that 5 minutes, even if it's that 5 minutes when you're on Facebook, make certain that's the positive ray of light. But hey, I just wanted to show you that this is where your article was in. So for those that want to look for your article, it was in the NASNPro.com. It's real easy to find, but either go on the blog or go on our website, and you'll be able to read the great words and information that Nikki and Annie posted in our magazine.
And they're
Yeah,
crazy if they don't do the, I'm just going to call it the business sweep right now, because you want to sweep through every single nook and cranny in the business and have a look at every aspect of your business. We've done a great article on it. You're crazy if you don't take advantage of that. But I wanted to actually go back to staff. And, we've talked a lot about communicating with our customers to keep them engaged. As the business or salon owner, you need to keep your employees engaged in this period right now as well. And so I would be recommending that they, that they do a little bit of staff training, that they take the time, or you take the time and invest in some small courses for them, so that when you go back, you've got new and exciting services to also offer your customers. But in this process, you're still keeping your staff engaged and stimulated, and giving them access to training that maybe they would have been too busy for before. So you need to keep connected with your staff more than ever as well.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that of the salons that we look after, that Spa and Salon Divas look after, the ones that are going to come back and are going to absolutely kick some serious butt when they come back are the ones that are doing these things. They're continuing their marketing, and they are reviewing their business, and they are keeping connected with their staff. And the salons that I work with and that I mentor and coach, they are doing training, like dermal blading training. We've just released our online dermal blading course. So they're doing that. They're going through and reviewing their business, and they're looking for new treatments. They're looking at what treatments they don't need anymore. They're looking at, are their treatments relevant nowadays? What treatments are being taken up and what aren't? What can you drop off your menu? And what treatments do I need to add? Do I need to look at introducing equipment? And some people may be saying, you know what, we're not making any money right now. How can we be talking about spending $20,000, $30,000 on a piece of equipment? But now is the time to make that plan and to work out where your business needs to be heading. So there's a lot of work to be done in this time. And I think, this is a great opportunity for us as business people, because if we're in business, we're business people first before we're estheticians. And we need to look at our business as, Annie says, salonpreneurs. So we really need to put our business hats on and look at our business from the ground up. And there's lots of resources, and between NASN Pro and between the Divas website, there's so many resources that you can utilize to get yourself ready to be inundated when our doors do open, and they will open.
They will. Absolutely, they will.
And, we can look at other, I saw a report on TV. I'm trying not to watch the news, as I said to Annie earlier this morning.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I'm trying not to watch the news and listen to reports on the radio and so forth. But I did see something on the news very briefly this morning that Wuhan, China, they're opening up again, and it's back to business as usual. And that's where this all started. So if they are going back into business now, then it's not that long for us.
Right. And again, I really think that as business owners, we really need to evaluate how we are keeping our salons and spas clean. I mean, in Florida, we were kind of, and I know if anyone's from the United States, Florida has been on the news a lot because we're one of the last states to shelter in place. So like I was talking 2 weeks ago to a salon owner, and she's like, Denise, my area that I'm in we're not in shelter in place, but I don't want to market that I'm open because of the backlash. I said, well, you privately message your clients want to come see you. She goes, oh, they do, because they're okay. And I said, well, take a step back. What are you doing to make certain that, are you cleaning your front door before they even come in? Then are you cleaning it when they leave? Are you having your staff wear gloves? Are you cleaning your computer? I think for us, we really need to create some protocols for that sanitation and disinfection, because we have been very slack in what we've been doing. Yeah, we might, wear gloves during extractions, but maybe we should be wearing gloves the entire time. And then don't forget to change them. It isn't just about personal protection, it's about protecting your clients for their health and their safety. And then also your team, just as simple as, are you cleaning that little knob on the toilet? No one wants to talk about these things, but that's kind of germy and grimy too.
Exactly right. And I think that this actually has been, this crisis has been good in a lot of ways for us, because now we're going to change the way we think about our business forever on so many different levels, including sanitation and hygiene protocols. And that's definitely something that salon owners need to be looking at when they're doing that review of their business that they're all going to be doing now. But, sanitation and hygiene protocols will change, and they will change forever now. It's like after, 9/11, and the world changed forever. Our security measures changed forever. This will change things, and it will change things forever as well in our businesses. And I think now we need to take the time, and we absolutely have the time to work on everything in our business from the ground up, including sanitation and hygiene protocols.
And also taking the time too, like you said, take care of your staff, get to know them. As an owner, if you know that you have a single mom on your team, is there anything that maybe you can send for their child to keep them active? For example, we just got a streaming service for my kids. And mind you, my kids are now older. So when I'm saying kids, I'm talking the 25-year-old. But I reached out to my marketing manager and said, hey, by the way, do you have this? Because I can have 10 people on my plan and it's not going to cost me anything extra. She did, but if she hadn't, then what a great opportunity. Now they can watch, movies, whether it's from The Fox and the Hound to Flipper or whatever. Just thinking a little bit more, like how can you help strengthen your team and create a bond? Because then when the next situation happens, you'll be strong. Your team will be strong and ready to go and row with you to keep the boat afloat.
I would be, just on the team again, I would be organizing a call. You know how you can add callers, like a conference call. I would be getting all of your team on a conference call right now and having a conversation with them about what they would like to see moving forward in the business. And that will help you put your list together. So you might have somebody, we have this grading system, a 0 to 10 grading system as part of our business review. And so if everybody worked through that, oh my goodness, you'd have all kinds of questions and answers where you'll have found also where the staff may not have been engaged enough, or they may have a gripe about something. It will uncover all of that. So now is the time, while we're all off, to be able to air everything as well. But if you have a conference call and you had everybody contribute to that conversation about what they would like to see the business look like moving forward when our doors are open again, I think that would be a great exercise to do. And then your staff take ownership of their own responsibilities within the success of that business. So I would definitely be getting conference call lined up. You can do it on your iPhone, just, add caller and talk to each other. The salon owner can share her ideas and plans for the future. And that way it kind of cements your team as well. If you're asking them for not for guidance, but just for ideas and suggestions, that definitely would make for a better business moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that, everyone's eyes see something different, or now suddenly you might be able to, address Mrs. Jones's complaint of, maybe the online system needs to be reviewed, or why isn't such and such a client doing this, or, whatever it is. I mean, as an owner, you're not seeing and touching everyone's client. So now is the time to really kind of revisit those protocols and the different services that you're offering, and really look at those numbers. You know, do you have a product that is, you know, costing you $27 and then you're only charging $34? What is your markup? You know, this is, again, really the time to dive deep and make some changes of how you're going to be successful, because you will be successful. We're going to get out. I love what, you know, the doors are going to open again, you know, but are you going to be prepared?
That's right. And that's what we're all about, is we're running these lives every day, Denise, now that I'm healthy again. So, and every day we're talking to people about, you know, questions that they're asking us, and different business strategies and marketing strategies, because we want them to be prepared for when they reopen, but long term. And as we say, you know, we want you to future-proof your salon. And we've been saying that since before COVID even existed. So it's all about future-proofing your salon. And, you know, we're so grateful that you spent the time with us tonight. It's Sunday night in Florida. So thank you so much for taking your Sunday night and spending it with us, Denise. It's so great to see you. You look well and healthy. And we're so looking forward to seeing you in July. And we will be seeing you in July in Boston.
Absolutely. And for those who aren't familiar with our conferences, it is a full day. It's all inclusive. So where we're having it is at the Crown Plaza. So parking is free, lunch is included, and it is a full day of education and then meeting with vetted professional sponsors. So we don't have any MLM companies that participate. It's all professionals coming together to learn, grow, network, and connect with each other.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We're excited, and we're just you know, we're lucky that we're on your presenters list, and we can't wait. We wish we could do more of your events later in the year. So so we'll
just get that private jet out, right? And that way it's an easy trip from Australia to all of our other events that we're having.
Wouldn't it be lovely? Okay, Denise. So thank you so much for your time. It's been great speaking to you. We probably will invite you back again to speak again. Jennifer wanted to talk more about organizational skills and list writing and things like that. So just keep watching our lives. We will be adding those topics in. But thank you again, Denise. Thank you, Annie, for joining us. And we'll see you in July in Boston.
All right. Stay healthy and be well.
You too. Bye.